Hello and welcome to Business Law Chapter 2. We're going to be talking about ethics and social responsibility. Let's get started. So if we're talking about ethical dilemmas or ethical behaviors, what is the best source of ethical business practices? Is it the employees, the business itself? How much should individual employees be allowed to lend their own input in creating a code of ethics that's going to drive the decision making in the business? And what should someone do when their own ethics or beliefs differ from those of their employers? And how do you deal with that, or how do you resolve those differences? So let's take a look for the chapter. When looking at business ethics and social responsibility, there are several key topics to understand. First is ethics, which is the definition is the study and practice of decisions about what is good or right. Business ethics is applying ethics to problems and opportunities for business people. So basically solving business dilemmas. Then ethical dilemma is a problem for there's really no clear right decision that you have to make. So looking at advantages and disadvantages of all of the choices and impact on stakeholders. And social responsibility are the expectations that the community puts on the firms that do business in its area. So looking at a process for making these decisions, it's the WH process for who are the stakeholders, and stakeholders are people who are affected by the firm's decisions, and then how should that decision be made? So looking more closely at stakeholders, there might be many stakeholders for a company or for a decision. Some of them have competing interests. If you look at the customers, or owners, management, employees, community, and future generations. If we look at the customers want the lowest price for their product. Owners want a high price for the product, and management probably does as well. The employees want to be paid the most and aren't as interested or concerned about making the most profit for the company. So you can see that there are competition between the right decision that should be made for a company. So how do we go about framing our decision-making process? And so here are just some guidelines that people can use as a way to think about how to make a decision. And the first one listed is public disclosure. So would you be proud if this decision were published in a newspaper? How would you feel if there's a big picture of you in the paper and they talked about this decision that was made? Would you be proud of your choice? So I think that's a good one for all of us to think about as we make decisions in high school and beyond. The second one is called universalization, and that's if other people copied my decision, would the world be better off? So it's not just my decision in isolation, but it's the decision that I'm going to make. And then what if other people made that same decision? And then the third one is the golden rule, which do to others as you would have them do to you, or as have done to you. So managers need a set of guidelines if they're going to understand the decisions they need to make and the ethics involved. So we need to determine the values that are involved in our decision-making process. And values serve to capture our sense of what is good and what is desirable. And not everybody values the same thing. And the four listed are freedom, security, justice, and efficiency. And there's a great chart of the next few slides on page 18 in your textbook. So looking at freedom, freedom is to be able to act without restriction from rules imposed by others, to possess the capacity or resources to act as you want to, and the ability to escape the cares and demands of the world. If we look at security, Security is having enough goods and services to meet your basic needs, to be safe from interference from others, and to have the ability to be self-confident. Justice is to receive the products of your labor, to treat all people fairly or identically, regardless of who they are, to provide resources in proportion to needs, and to possess something that somebody chooses to give you. And the last one is efficiency, and that's to maximize the amount of wealth in society, to get the most from your outputs, and to minimize your costs. If we're looking more specifically at the golden rule, there's 6 different ways that the textbook has listed for how you can interpret it. And really, the key is the same. It's to be aware that other people have needs and rights, and those needs and rights matter. So no matter how you choose to look at this, that ends up being what's important. Question of the day: do a firm's ethical responsibilities extend beyond maximization of profit? Because in the end, a business is created and runs to make a profit for the owners. That's why they put money into the business to start with, is they were looking to generate a profit. So that's their most important factor, is to create this profit. But what about the employees? They would like to be paid more, no doubt. And if they're paid more, then the profits decrease. What about community members? They might have different interests in the company as well, being a part of their community. So it gets more complicated than one might expect. All right, that's all I've got for Chapter 2. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.